So, what if that electric car sitting in your driveway was more than just a way to get from A to B? What if it was actually the key to solving one of the biggest headaches for our entire energy grid? Well, today, we're diving into exactly that, how your car could become a vital part of our power infrastructure.
Really think about it for a second. Your car? It probably sits parked for, 95% of the day? Over 20 hours for sure. So what if during all that downtime, it wasn't just sitting there, but was actually, working, actively helping to power the grid? It's a pretty wild idea, but the technology to make it a reality, it's already here.
All right, so here's the paradox. We're all in on two incredible green technologies, right? Renewable energy like solar and wind, and electric vehicles. Love them. But when you put them together, well, you accidentally create this brand new, really tricky challenge for the folks whose job it is to keep the lights on for all of us.
Okay, this graph right here shows you the problem perfectly. That orange line, see how it peaks right in the middle of the day? That's all our beautiful solar power. Now look at the blue line. That's us, using energy, and it spikes in the evening when everyone gets home. So we're making the most power when we need it the least. It's what we call the daily mismatch.
And this gets to the absolute heart of the matter. The one job a grid operator has is balancing. Every single second of every day, the amount of electricity being made has to perfectly, and I mean perfectly, match the amount being used. If that balance is off, even a little, you get blackouts. It is a constant, high-stakes tightrope walk.
And this is where EVs, our supposed heroes, can actually make things worse. Imagine millions of us getting home from work and plugging in our cars at the exact same time. You've just created this massive new spike in demand, right when the grid is already struggling. We're trying to solve one problem, but we could be creating a whole new one.
But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if we need to completely rethink what an EV is? It's not just a car, it's a huge battery on wheels. And you know what? That one simple shift in thinking flips this entire problem on its head.
The magic behind this is a technology called vehicle-to-grid, or V2G for short. And what it does is pretty simple, really. It creates a two-way street for electricity. Your car can charge up when power is cheap and abundant, like, say, in the middle of the day, and then it can send a little bit of that power back to support the grid when it's needed most. Now, let's zoom out for a second. One car, it's just one battery. But millions of EVs, all parked and connected to the grid, that's not a fleet of cars anymore. You've just created one of the largest energy storage systems on the entire planet, and it's spread out across millions of driveways just like yours.
Okay, it sounds like a great idea in theory, but how on earth do you actually manage it? How do you get millions of individual cars to act like one giant, helpful battery? This isn't just a small technical problem, it is an incredibly complex billion-dollar optimization puzzle.
I mean, just think about the variables you have to juggle. Every single car has a different battery level. Every owner has a totally different schedule. You might need a full charge by 7 a.m., but your neighbor doesn't need theirs until the weekend. And they're all in different places. Trying to coordinate all that, it's a monumental task.
So to solve this incredibly complex human problem, some very smart researchers looked somewhere pretty unexpected for inspiration. They didn't look at computers or power plants, they looked to the natural world, and they found their answer in the elegant hunting strategy of a bird of prey.
That's right. The algorithm that might just balance our entire future energy grid is based on how the Harris hawk hunts. I know it sounds a little crazy, but trust me, the logic behind it is absolutely brilliant.
See, Harris hawks are special because they hunt cooperatively. They work as a team, swarming a rabbit to corner it. This algorithm does the same thing. The prey it's hunting for is the single most efficient charging schedule for every car in the system. Each hawk is basically a potential solution, and they all work together, exploring and adjusting in real time until, bam, they find the absolute perfect one.
And here it is. This is the result. Remember that mismatch problem from earlier? Well, the algorithm takes all that available renewable energy, that's the yellow line, and it creates a charging schedule for all the cars, the red line, that tracks it perfectly. It basically tells the whole fleet, hey, charge up now while the sun's out. And just like that, the mismatch problem is solved.
So the algorithm is fantastic. It works great in a simulation. But what's it going to take to get this brilliant idea out of a research paper and into our actual driveways? Let's talk about the real-world tools and, of course, the challenges.
To make this whole thing work, you need a whole new toolbox. First, you need smart meters that can send near real-time data so the grid knows what's going on. You need energy management systems in our homes to be the conductor of this orchestra. And this is a big one, the car, the charger, and the grid all have to speak the same digital language. They need common standards to communicate. It's a really complex, interconnected system.
And of course, it's not just a tech problem. There are some major policy hurdles to clear. For example, tax laws. They could accidentally tax you twice, once when you buy the electricity and then again when your car sells it back. And the energy markets themselves, they were built for a few gigantic power plants, not for millions of tiny ones sitting in our garages.
But if we can solve these problems, the payoff is huge. Research shows that a local grid can boost its energy flexibility by almost 29%. Now, what does that mean for you? It means the grid is nearly 30% better at handling those sudden spikes and dips, which means a more stable, more reliable system for everyone. And the best part? We get all that without having to build a single new power plant.
You know, this quote from the researchers pretty much sums up the whole story. The very same technologies that are creating this new challenge, EVs and renewables, are also the keys to solving it. The problem literally contains its own solution. It's kind of beautiful when you think about it.
And that brings us right back to you. This entire future, this whole incredible system, it really hinges on a simple decision made by millions of people, knowing that it could help stabilize the grid, help us use more renewable energy, and, oh yeah, maybe even make you a little money. Would you let the grid borrow your car? It's a question we're all going to have to think about pretty soon.